The engines hum beneath the deck, cars are parked below, passengers sip coffee above, staring across the water. It all feels calm, routine, but marine transport, especially ferry systems, are some of the most dynamic and potentially dangerous environments in transportation. Welcome back to our Transportation Safety series. In our last episode, we explored the safety systems and failures in passenger rail and light rail. From derailments to platform hazards to smoke-filled tunnels, we looked at what can go wrong and how to make things right. Today we shift to the water. Ferries move people, vehicles, and cargo across rivers, bays, and coastlines around the world. From city commutes in Istanbul and New York to remote island routes in Canada and the Philippines, these systems play a crucial role in transportation infrastructure, but they also carry unique risks. Globally, ferry transport accounts for thousands of fatalities every decade. According to the Worldwide Ferry Safety Association, over 1,000 people die annually in ferry-related incidents, mostly in developing countries where enforcement and oversight may lag. But even in countries with strong regulations, the risks are real. In the Philippines alone, ferry disasters have caused more than 5,000 deaths over the last 40 years. Meanwhile, in Europe, safety concerns have led to major investments in stricter guidelines, but close calls still occur. So what are the hazards? First, weather conditions. High winds, rough seas, and fog reduce visibility and vessel control. A shift in weather mid-route can go from manageable to catastrophic quickly. Second, boarding and disembarking incidents, slips, falls, and vehicle-related injuries occur at terminals and ramps, especially when operations are rushed. Third, overcrowding, especially during peak hours or in emergencies, increases the risk of trampling and instability. Fourth, fire and mechanical failure. Engines, fuel systems, and electrical panels all present risks, particularly when routine maintenance is delayed. And fifth, human error. Navigation mistakes, fatigue, and communication breakdowns can lead to catastrophe. Let's also consider passenger behavior. From ignoring safety briefings to misusing life jackets or panicking during an emergency, people often contribute to onboard risk. And in mixed passenger cargo operations, vehicle fires or unsecured cargo shifts can cause internal disasters long before rescue is possible. Let's examine 3 real-world events. In 2012, the MV Rabaul Queen ferry sank off the coast of Papua New Guinea. The ship was reportedly overcrowded with more than 350 passengers, far beyond its rated capacity. Caught in heavy seas, the vessel capsized. Over 200 people lost their lives. Investigations found that safety drills were not performed and lifeboats were inadequate. The cause? Overloading, lack of enforcement, and poor preparedness. The lesson? Capacity limits and emergency planning aren't optional. They're the difference between life and death. Closer to home, in 2006, the Queen of the North, operated by BC Ferries in Canada, ran aground on Gill Island after missing a key course change. The ship sank, and 2 people were never found. The cause? Human error by the crew and inadequate monitoring of ship systems. The lesson? Redundant navigation tools and alert procedures must always be in place, especially on nighttime crossings. And in 2014, in South Korea, the MV Sewol disaster claimed the lives of 304 people, mostly high school students. The ferry had been modified illegally to carry more cargo, compromising its stability. As the vessel listed, passengers were told to stay put, delaying evacuation. The crew abandoned ship without ensuring passenger safety. The cause? Illegal modifications, lack of training, and communication failures. The learning, regulatory oversight, real evacuation training, and leadership accountability are critical. We can also look at a 4th event. In 1994, the MS Estonia sank in the Baltic Sea during a storm en route from Tallinn to Stockholm. The bow door failed, allowing seawater to flood the car deck. The ship capsized within minutes. Of the 989 people on board, only 137 survived. The tragedy prompted sweeping reforms in international ferry design and evacuation standards. The cause? Structural failure and delayed alerts. The lesson? Design integrity and real-time monitoring save lives, and every second counts when water is involved. What controls can reduce these risks? First, enforcing strict loading standards and not allowing pressure to override capacity rules. Operators must be held accountable with random inspections and digital tracking of manifest data. Second, weather monitoring and contingency planning, including canceling or delaying departures when conditions are unsafe. Captains should be empowered to make calls without fear of financial repercussions. Third, emergency drills and crew training for real-world situations, not just compliance. This includes abandoning ship, crowd control, radio use, and passenger coordination, under duress. Fourth, regular inspections and maintenance with transparent records, third-party audits, and real follow-up. A working fire suppression system or a sealed hatch can mean the difference between a contained incident and a full-blown catastrophe. Fifth, clear signage, Pennsylvania systems, and evacuation maps for passengers, especially first-time riders. Emergency information must be language accessible, visual, and reinforced through announcements and staff guidance. Sixth, investing in crew wellness and fatigue management, especially on overnight or multi-leg routes. Crew must be rested, alert, and empowered to speak up about safety concerns. Seventh, stronger design standards. Ships must be built or retrofitted with modern integrity, compartmentalized hulls, sealed doors, smoke barriers, fire-resistant interiors, and enough life-saving equipment for everyone on board. Eighth, accountability from leadership. Shipping companies must be liable for decisions that prioritize speed or profit over safety. Regulations without enforcement mean nothing. Ferry systems are often seen as peaceful and picturesque, but underneath the surface lies a need for rigorous safety planning, sharp training, and coordinated response. These aren't luxury cruises. They're working vessels, with tight timetables, high demands, and real risks. The workers aboard, from engineers and deckhands to cleaning crews and onboard coordinators, are the frontline defense. But they need systems that support them, not stretch them thin. Passengers too play a role. Listening to briefings, following instructions, and remaining calm during emergencies helps save lives. In our next and final episode, we'll take to the skies, exploring aviation safety for ground crews and flight teams. If you've worked on a ferry, share your experience in the comments. And if this helped you see marine transport in a new light, like, subscribe, and pass it along. Until next time, stay steady and stay afloat.